that one belief eliminated from your brain could change the course of your reality. Would you want that? It's not for everyone, only the brave. Those who want to own their life like the powerful leaders they were born to be. A pivotal moment can change everything. Now, here's the host of Crossroads to Awakening show, Wendy Paquette.
Welcome, everybody. Happy Monday. You're listening to the Crossroads to Awakening show, and I'm your host, Wendy Paquette. I'm a holographic mind reprogrammer. I help humans stuck at a crossroads awaken to their truest selves and change the world from where they stand, getting you the clarity that you've been after so that you can move forward in this reality, creating from a space of anything or nothing, or all of it at the same time. It doesn't matter if you're in the middle of COVID or if you're not, you can create from that space. So welcome. Today's show is going to be really fun. It happens to be my absolute favorite topic. It is called Meditation Magic. And there's just too much for me to fit into all one show. So this will be a show of 5 of the things that are coming up for me right now that could support you in accessing that part of you that's free, that we call meditation, when you go into a space of silence and you open up your world. So let's get started. Right now, I've got 5 ways in front of me that you can create from when you want to create magic with meditation. So let's get into 2. Why would you want to even meditate? And why would you care that it can create magic in your world? Let's get started with that, because maybe you've never meditated before. Maybe you've heard about it, other people do it, or you do things like yoga or something. It all has an aspect of meditation to it, but you're really not sure why you would even take the time to put that practice into your life. And that's a very valid thought, because we've always seen meditation as something that maybe you did if you were a yogi, or if you're really into spirituality, or maybe you are, some ancient practices that embody that for healing. But if you're not into those things, or at least you don't have a need, and I'm air quoting the word need, those in your reality, you might just overlook it as something that could be potentially supportive to you in your life right now, especially now. So I'm going to speak into one thing that's coming up for me just in this moment, and perhaps some of you are experiencing this, is how to see meditation as not an ancient practice or something other people do, or some weird foo-foo thing where you're just sitting in silence, or maybe you think you got to cross your legs a certain way. But look at meditation like medicine. Look at it like a medicine, a serum, right? Perhaps a mechanism to get you somewhere you'd like to go. So as a serum, it could be like an elixir, a healing elixir, right? Or medicine the same way, changing the way our body responds to our thoughts, or getting you somewhere you want to go, like a mechanism. And when you look at it from that perspective, you can apply meditation to your world on purpose for reasons you might not have given yourself access to before. So let's dive a little deeper. Why would we use a tool or a mechanism for anything? Well, if you're in business, obviously you use technology, like those tools, those mechanisms, in order these days during these COVID times to access people, instead of being in front of them or sitting with them in person, or going for an actual coffee, or sitting in a boardroom or a meeting. You're online on one of the potential platforms that you can connect with via video and feel like you're really sitting right there with them, because you are technically. Those mechanisms are what create connection in this moment, right? Or it could be through Facebook, social media lives, right? Facebook lives, or Instagram lives, or YouTube lives, or the latest Clubhouse, whatever that looks like. You're using a mechanism to get you somewhere. And in that case, it would be connection to someone, which is what we all really, really need. And some of us aren't using anything, right? Some of us are just like hoping and waiting that this COVID stuff ends so that we can go back to our lives, right? So you're sitting in the space of, I'm on hold until the world reawakens, right? So there's many, many things to look at where a mechanism could be required, right? even an alarm clock is a mechanism to get your butt out of bed. So we use mechanisms everywhere in our world in order to get us somewhere, right? To assist us with something. So when I'm speaking into meditation as a mechanism, let's look at why would you need a mechanism anyway? Like, yes, technology in business or even just to connect with your family on the holiday is such an incredible, tool to use to soften our times right now so that we can actually see people. But there are other things like, so I would say I'm going to speak for all of us, a lot of us, and I'm going to speak through the stance of I, because I am you, right? We are each other. This is a oneness reality. We are all humans experiencing something in this world right now. And what if we experience something like anxiety or depression, right? Those are spaces in our minds, in our bodies, in our worlds where we don't often reach out because the condition or the experience of depression or anxiety prevents us from doing that, right? That is ultimately the result of anxiety and depression is aloneness, right? Being alone, not having anyone to support you. And this is the one thing I would love to speak into today. One of the things that if we could all see into each other what's truly possible and what's truly available is someone suffering from anxiety or depression today. So my request for you, if you're listening to this today, is send this to someone who you think might love to hear something that speaks into a place they might be going, which is in a depression or in anxiety, or someone who's already there. Because this is a free technology that we possess called meditation. It is a free piece of mechanism, right? That we can use to get somewhere else. And I don't mean like escaping your life or finding another place to go and ignoring your current reality, but actually getting in connection with the truest aspect of you. Getting in connection with the part of you that knows joy, that knows love, that knows connection and possibility. And when you're in the space of anxiety and depression, you've often forgotten that is available to you. And that you've even experienced it before. It may feel like you're never going to experience it again. And I'm here to share with you that I'm here to tell you that you can. And it's one thing to say, yeah, you'll be able to experience joy and happiness again. It's another thing to know there's a mechanism that could support you in solving that, but you're ultimately in charge. And so we get to take it down another level to a space where, or up another level, whichever way you want to look at it, that you're the one in charge of your experience. It is a very, very simple yet plain place to stand. When you wipe all away, say if we just deleted all the things in your mind right now so you knew nothing, what you do know is that you are you. You are sitting there, beautiful soul in a body, which I often joke around as a skin suit, and you are alive, right? You might not be living into your life, but you are alive. You're breathing. And when you're breathing, you realize that the only one right there with you is you. The only one thinking things is you. The only one making choices today, right now, in this very moment, is you. Perhaps you're choosing to listen to my words, and that is a choice, right? Because you could do anything else in the world right now, but you're here with me listening. So I'm speaking directly to you from the space. We get to step into the space where we get to evoke what's missing in our world. Joy, happiness, health, wellness. We get to speak into a space where we have access to all things because we said so, because we're ultimately in charge. We're the one living our lives. We're the one as a human who has choice. We have choice in every single moment. So as you're sitting here listening to me, that choice that you're making right now, I'm going to be all in for you 100%. And let's speak into the possibilities that we have today, right in this very moment. So I'm going to circle back to meditation as a technology. So if you're experiencing anything, and it doesn't just have to be anxiety or depression, because I realize that there are many other things that could be going on in your mind that cause you to experience it, and it impacts your world in a negative way. We're going to speak into that from a holistic perspective of you're in charge, right? We're going to just set aside all the other things that you think are happening to you in this moment. We're just going to take this time together that we have. We're going to separate ourselves. And I know that sounds oxymoronic considering I'm always speaking into oneness. We are in charge of our lives, and that we are the choosers. We are making the choices. So we're going to sit here today and we're going to realize that we're going to, just for a moment, pretend that there's nothing in our life but us, right? Nothing else exists. No issues exist. No work exists. No frustrations exist. No pressure from anyone else. No asks of us. No things on our plate. No nothing getting done. No bills that need to be paid. Nothing. Right this very moment, in this next 45 minutes, we're going to be just you and I. And in this space right now, we have a clean slate. Clean slate. We are the ones making the choices. Right? We have it all along, but sometimes we forget that, and we embody somewhat of a victim stance in that we're saying that things happen to us. And when I say victim stance, not from a judgmental space, but from a space of thinking things are happening to us as though we're not choosing to own them as our own in situations. So we're going to flip that switch today, and we're going to look at what's possible when you see your world from the space of you're creating it, right? You are creating we are creating it, and we, you and I, are going to create a moment of empowerment together, right? And we're going to use the mechanism of meditation. We're going to create a space where we're wiping the slate clean. We're looking at a blank canvas, and we're going to begin to write on that blank canvas what we really, really want. What do we really want to experience in this reality right now? That if we were living it today, it'd be the best day ever. Not because we suddenly put $1 million in the bank account, although that would be really fun. We could find lots of ways to spend it or do things with it, or maybe not do things with it in this COVID time, but we could really, truly change lives with it, right? So we're going to sit in that space and look at our lives from that perspective. When I look at my reality, what would I like my life, this world that I'm living in, my bubble, so to speak, to look like? And we're going to be very simple about it, very plain and simple, so that we can see possibility and power in every moment. So I realize we're coming up on a break, but we're going to speak right now into the space of, okay, clean slate. So first things first, let's create the clean slate, and then we'll move forward one small step at a time. Because what we're doing is the whole episode is about meditation and magic, and how meditation can be magical. And we get to look at why we would even want it. So right now we've realized that because I've spoken to meditation as being a technology or a tactic or a mechanism to get you somewhere, now we're seeing why we would need that mechanism in the first place. And when we go underneath that, we look at, okay, so we get to look at our lives and see where maybe we get to decide that we have somewhere to go, and we're not there yet, right? We're not there yet. There's a gap. There's something missing. And we haven't been able to sit down and figure that out because we don't give ourselves a moment, right? We keep going and going and going and going and going, and stuff keeps piling on top of us, and things keep happening, and requests keep coming in, and people keep needing things, and the bills keep piling up, and all the things are happening, and I still don't feel like I'm getting anywhere. That's what we're going to speak into. So over this next minute and a half, whatever the break is, we're going to just write down just a couple of things. If my world today could snap my fingers, my world, I would experience my world as, and then blank, 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 you fill in the blanks. For me, it would be a space of peace and possibility and joy, right? And, I have a couple other things, momentum. I like to be busy, and I like to move quickly and fast and create and be, out there and risk-taking as far as it goes with my pushing my human capacity in a really great way to be the change I want to see in the world. But right now, just write down a couple of things. and be creative in that space so we can move forward in the next moment. So let's walk into a break and you write down what you'd like your world to look like right now. Peaceful, joyful, right? Just keep going with those ways of being and see if you can even come up with something. Let's see how long you spent in that space of no possibility to not even be able to see what you really, really want. So that's what you're asking yourself. What do I really, really want? And if you can answer that question, your next question after that is, and what else? Okay, Jen, let's go into break. Let's see what we have coming up.
If you could wave a magic wand and have your life be anything you wanted it to be, what would it look like? Professional dancer, CEO of a multi-million-dollar earth-conscious company, a screenwriter with top billing shows, and ultimately have the boldness to move about the world without emotional blocks standing in your way, therefore having the confidence to achieve anything you put your mind to. That's what Wendy Paquette knows is possible for you. The first step is understanding why you don't believe it too, or why you do, and yet haven't created it. Put on your possibility goggles and join Wendy now, because you're at the crossroads to awakening.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the Crossroads to Awakening show with your host, Wendy Paquette. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. Now back to the program.
Okay, welcome back. I'm just curious, how easy or hard was it for you to write down what you really, really want? So now that you've kind of opened up that gateway to find out what you really want, what we get to speak into, I wanted to tidy up something that I was saying beforehand of what you really want, the world you want to live in. I say it's a way of being because as you experience your world, you have two ways to experience it. One is in the beingness and one is in the doingness. And those in combination create what you have and what you currently see in your reality. So your way of being and your way of doing, committed action, create the results that you're currently living in, right? So what I was alluding to when you're writing down what you really want is you're going to know that based on what you're saying that you don't want, right? Because the greatest part about knowing what you don't want is being able to know what you do want. You're like, yeah, I don't want to live in a, world that's chaotic and dramatic and, violent. I would like to live in a world that's peaceful and in harmony and in connection, like with each other, humans in connection with each other. So knowing what we don't want supports us in knowing what we do want. So there is a good thing in that aspect, right? And there's a lot of things I'm certain that you can list out that you really aren't fond of. And you could flip that over to the other side. Well, if I'm not fond of that, what would I like to live my life in place of that? And so you get to lean into those places of peace and joy and possibility. And it does create your life. Let me tell you, if you think peace and possibility doesn't create money, you're kidding yourself, because it does, right? So for those of you who attempt to go to that space, well, that's all fine and dandy, but I have bills to pay. I got another thing to tell you. It does create that, because when you're joyful in your world and you're creating from the space of possibility and you're loving your life on purpose, that way of being that I was just speaking into, adding to committed action, which is a way of doing, will create business, will create work, will create money, right? It could be for yourself or for someone else as a business, like as an employee, but yet still will create for you. So absolutely, it can create money and you can pay your bills with it. It just looks different, right? It just has a different context to it. So let's dive in. What is it that like, okay, so here's the support on how to know. If you weren't able to figure out what you'd like your world to look like, let's look at where it's at now and what you don't like about it, or what you're not fond of. And let's ask, the next question is, for where you'd like to go, what do you feel is missing? What's in the gap? Right? What are you missing in that? What's missing in your space now that would cause you to live in a world that is what you're looking to achieve? So if you don't know what you're looking to achieve, just pick one big thing, like a world of love, or a world of joy, or a world of peace, right? There's many things that you can choose to look at that from. And then we'll go from there. You can dig down deeper into the minutia of what that looks like, but grab a hold of one thing first so you can actually have access to it. And then choosing it, we'll choose mine so that we have something to go with. Mine is peace. To me, it's not peace as in though we're fighting in peace. Peace is an experience for me. All right, I'm not speaking for anybody else, only for myself. Peace to me is it's a breath. It's a deep breath where you just everything gets to be let go of for a moment. It's got joy to it, because you could have peace and be smiling, excuse me, or I don't know, it just has this really visceral experience. And so peace is the word I use for it today. Could have other words. I don't hold myself, to a limitation to that, but today it's peace, right? Peace and possibility. And when you're there, you've got something to hold on to. I look at what's in the gap from, where I am to getting to the place of peace, just in my own world, right? Because let's face it, who you be in your world is reflected in your outer world. So if you're seeing chaos and anger and frustration, you get to look at who you're being inside, because the reflection is real. And when when we as humans see a space where we really only want to get along, we want to support each other and link arms across the globe so that we all get to win and be joyful in this life, and our children get to grow up in that beautiful world, we will achieve that, right? We will achieve that. So it's a space we all get to, right? And everybody gets there at a different time. There's no judgment in that space. We all get there, and when we're ready, we will. And that's all there is to it. And so we all get to keep being in that space of living it so that we can all see it and keep, activating other people to live that space as well. So when you see what's missing or what's in the gap, you'll know where you get to go, right? So let's just say, if I was frustrated and irritated by, my business, or I wasn't generating enough money, or maybe, with my work or something to that effect, I would get to say, you know what, I'm really frustrated. I don't have enough time, right? I don't have enough time to do anything else. And I feel really frustrated and limited by my time because I'm always working, and I don't have time to go to a yoga class or do yoga, or I don't have time to spend, an hour on coffee time with my friends, or whatever the case may be. I don't have time to take a long, luxurious bath. And no, that's not true. I create time daily. And I'm using that as an example. What is it that you're seeing that you don't have right now? Like, what's in the gap? And so for not having time, that means I would get to create time, right? I would get to create time. That's what's in the gap. Time's in the gap. I don't have time to do something. That's my excuse. That's my reason, right? To get to peace, I need more time. All right, getting where I'm going with this. So look at what you want. Look at where you're at right now, and see what's in the gap, what's missing there. And what would it look like to have it? So if I want peace, and I find that I don't have enough time to create peace, because peace comes from all the things I enjoy doing, and I don't have time to do the things I enjoy doing, then I get to create time, right? So time's in the gap. Or joy's in the gap. Maybe I'm not creating enough joy. So, who do I get to be in order to create joy, to experience that in what I want? That is also true. So it's ways of being that will be what you get to look for. Once you've discovered what's in the gap or what's missing, one of the things, and this is for those of you, if you're saying, well, I don't really know, I really don't know, I don't know what's in the gap, then ask yourself, what am I pretending not to know? What am I pretending to not know about what I really want, or what's in the gap, or where am I at right now? What am I pretending not to know? You will figure it out. Asking questions will support you in opening up possibilities because it is a mindset. Asking a question automatically gives your mind permission to hunt for answers. And yes, I'm a clear advocate that your mind is a bigger thing. It's not your brain. Your brain holds information. The mind holds infinite information, the bigger mind, right? The holographic mind, the, you know, connected mind of all that is. So ask the question. Give yourself permission to see what shows up for you in this space. And then when we have the gap, when we have what's in the gap, we get to see, okay, so time, I'm saying that I don't have enough time to do anything. I don't have enough time to create the peace I'd like to have in my world, because if I had time, I could create it. If I had time, I could go for a massage. If I had time, I could meditate, right? I could do the things that I think would support me. And now that we have that, now we have the key, right? We have the key to use a mechanism to go in to discover how we can create that. So this is where I see meditation as magic, because meditation is many, many things. Over the ages, thousands and thousands of years, it's been used to do many things that we probably haven't even been made aware of, which would be healing in a different way. Like they used to use meditation and actually experience healings instantaneously, but we've gotten so far away from believing that to be possible that the collective thought of impossibility creates that very existence, right, of impossibility. So we're going to apply now what we've learned is where we are, or what we've acknowledged, I should say, not learned because we are there already. What we've acknowledged is where we're at. We've also acknowledged, to the most part, what we want. And then if you are able to acknowledge or find a moment to see your gap or what's missing, we get to acknowledge what's missing. So now we have the pieces of the puzzle, where I'm at now, where I'm headed, and what's missing. Truly adding what's missing is going to solve the problem. If you're seeing, what's missing is time, what's missing is money, what's missing is like love or connection. We've got the keys. What we're going to do after this next break is we're going to go into a meditation and access using those keys, those way of being keys, those things that you're saying are in the gap or what's missing. We're going to use those keys to unlock potential inside of meditation. So we're going to use that beautiful mechanism of meditation to access you in your highest capacity, your infinite intelligence, your infinite self. We're going to use that key and we're going to open it up and ask some questions and see what comes through. And what comes through is so magical. That's why I put those two things together. Meditation is magic. Why? Because when we use what we know in the moment, we can access the rest of what we feel is missing. It's not actually missing. We just haven't given ourselves a chance to realize it, have it in our hand. And then once we have those answers or something close to them, and you'll see how magical it is, you get to unlock your possibilities, your capacities, your capabilities. And then the beautiful part is, when I was speaking into it earlier, is the way of being coupled with the way of doing, which is also called committed action, creates results, which is your experience. So you literally have all the answers. You have where you're at, what's stopping you, what's in the gap, where you want to go, and the key to open it up. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to really give ourselves the opportunity to go there. This episode, you can download it and keep re-listening. And if you'd like a free meditation, just pop over to wendypaquette.com and send me a message, and I will send you your own personal free meditation. And you can go there. Or if you'd like to go into something deeper, I have some mastery and meditation programs that are starting up right now. So don't be afraid of what's truly possible. Get excited. Because if you're in a space of anxiety or depression, or if you're somewhere within the realms of those, you literally have a way out. And it's not a negative thing. The way out is out of that box in your mind. So we're going to walk into a break. And when we come back, we're going to walk through a little short meditation, utilizing those things we just discovered of where we are, where we're headed, and what's in the gap. So Jen, take us to a break and we will be right back. While you're there, think about the gap. What's missing? Give yourself the power of that key. And we'll be right back.
If you could wave a magic wand and have your life be anything you wanted it to be, what would it look like? Professional dancer, CEO of a multi-million-dollar earth-conscious company, a screenwriter with top billing shows, and ultimately have the boldness to move about the world without emotional blocks standing in your way, therefore having the confidence to achieve anything you put your mind to. That's what Wendy Paquette knows is possible for you. The first step is understanding why you don't believe it too, or why you do, and yet haven't created it. Put on your possibility goggles and join Wendy now, because you're at the Crossroads to Awakening. This is the Crossroads to Awakening show with your host, Wendy Paquette. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. Now back to the program.
Okay, now we're back. So let's play. Okay, let's play. So if you didn't find something right now in this very moment of, what's in the gap, maybe you know that you're not happy right now. That could be the thing. You're just not happy. You don't know what it is, and you don't want to call it anger or frustration or anything else. You're just not happy. You're irritated or frustrated, whatever that is. I mean, we're going to be really light on it in this moment. And you know where you're headed, which is you want to experience joy, right? You want to feel peace and love and connection. You want to feel those beautiful things. Let's just use that as the example right now to practice this. And then later you can go in and go deep. And what's in the gap is time or connection, right? Maybe those are things that are in the gap. Give yourself permission to pick one thing and just play with it. Just pick one thing, what's in the gap, right? And then we can go into what's possible. So let's use these keys. So I want you to get seated in a comfortable position. So if obviously you're driving, please do not do this while driving. Either pull over into a parking lot or something where you can be safe, of course. And we're going to take a moment to do a very short meditation. You can do it your eyes open or your eyes closed to start with, because it really truly doesn't matter as long as you can focus, right? Stare at one thing. And we're going to practice allowing ourselves the possibility of accessing all those beautiful things that we have access to that we didn't realize, and gift ourselves the ability to feel peace in this moment, to feel love, to feel light. Okay. So it's only going to be a few minutes. Let's just sit comfortably. I want you to take a nice deep breath. I always say breathe up through your feet. Remind your feet, right? That they're here and that they're on the ground and that they're activated through the power of gravity, whatever that looks like, and that they are the connection energetically to the ground. So you're grounded. And as you breathe up through your feet, through your legs, through your hips, through your torso, I want to breathe up and in and just let everything else go. Let all your thoughts go. This very moment, I'm going to hold you in this space and I'll walk you through, and then I'll remind you that you're back. So if you want to bring back all your thoughts and all your things into your head, you are most certainly welcome to do so. It is your life. And if not, you can let them go, where they can find themselves a new home in someone else's world or nowhere. They can be transmuted to love and light and be free as well. But right for this very moment, just keep breathing and be consciously aware of your breath, because 100% breath is life. Without breath, you would not be living. So breathe in, up through your feet, up through your body. Feel it go into your heart like a swirly, whirly energy of joy. Allow yourself to be delighted by your own joy that resides within you, because you put your attention on it just for a moment. Let it swirl around and be happy, and maybe give it a color, whatever color you like. Whatever color you experience in your mind's eye and your feeling and your thoughts, whatever color that energy is, give it a color. Allow it to show itself to you, or experience it, or let that color to drop into your mind. And you're swirling around your heart basically like a feather and tickling it awake, tickling your heart awake, because sometimes we close it down in protection mode. So we want to, for this moment, just wake it up. Wake up your heart so that it can share its joy and love with the rest of your body, and eventually the rest of the people around you and the rest of the world. So keep breathing, breathe up through your shoulders. Let your shoulders release all the tension from today, from yesterday, from the weekend. Release all the things that are weighing you down, sitting on your shoulders, making them tight and worn out. Let them be free. Lift it off. Lift all those weights off. Take another nice deep breath in and keep going all the way up through your head and your face. Tickle your cheeks from the inside. Let that beautiful energy swirl around inside your eyes. Brighten, sparkle, clarity. Swirl around in your head, freeing up all the thoughts that don't belong to you. All those bits of information, those quantum bits of information that pop in that really have nothing to do with you at all. Let them all go. Set them free. It's like open up the gateway and setting all the animals free. You're just letting them all go back to where they came from, or free to be transmuted into love or light. Freeing up your mind to be in a space of peace. Breathe out the top of your head. Imagine the energy flying out the top of your head, and it actually can go so high that it turns into fireworks, right? And it kind of like sparks in the sky, and then all these beautiful sparkles come floating down. They land on your skin. They light up the outside of your skin so that you can see that you have a body. You can just see it light up in your mind's eye if your eyes are closed. And so no matter what, you're creating an awareness that you are alive with every breath. With every breath, you're reminded you're alive. You're really, truly gifted to be here, to be alive in this body right now, to be present to whatever's going on in our world, and to be the cause, the love and the light that is the change that we're looking to see. And so as you take another deep breath in, I want you to hold what's in the gap that we were speaking into earlier. So what's missing? What was missing? So if peace or time or joy was missing, or opportunities, whatever those things were, I want you to just hold that in your heart. I want you to bring it into your heart, because we want to light it up with the light of possibility, and we're going to spark those energies, whatever's in the gap. We're going to hold it in our heart, and then we're going to breathe in and experience those particles, those thought particles of what's missing. We're going to breathe them into every cell to transmute them into the possibilities. What's missing is actually what you want, right? Those are what you want to evoke in your life. So if what's missing is peace, if what's missing is joy, if what's missing is fun, if what's missing is time, even time being a construct, we're going to breathe that into every cell of your body. We're going to take a nice deep breath and go, okay, if that's what's missing, we're going to add it. And where we begin is adding it to our body. We're making it so. So all the things that left us earlier when we were breathing out, all the things that didn't belong to us, that weren't ours to begin with, or things that we didn't require or didn't serve us on our highest good, we're going to let all those go. And that created space for what's missing, what's in the gap, to fill up that space. And then some. It goes into every cell. So today it's peace, it's love, it's joy, it's the perception of time, right? Whatever your mind buys, we're going to send it into every cell so that we can have an abundance of it. So much so, it's going into the billions and billions of cells that make up our bodies in our realities. And because what we think is so is reflected in our reality, we are now appointing, aligning to, activating, and reflecting what we're adding in ourselves. The love, the light, the peace, the joy, the perceived time. We're adding it all in. And because we're adding it into ourselves, it will be reflected in our outer world. And the only way to experience a shift in our reality is to be the shift ourselves first, be the change we want to see in the world. So we are literally going into the quantum particles and adding in what we perceived was missing to now have it. And not only have it, have an abundance of it. Because it is in billions and billions of cells. Because you said so. These billions of cells are going to be reflected in your outer world. In the choosing of being the representation energetically in your cells, it's going to show up in your reality. And that is the magic and the miracle that meditation is giving us today. So in this space of adding that, we are breathing in through our nose. Deep, beautiful, nourishing breaths. We're adding in what's in the gap. So it used to be missing and now it's present in every cell. Because we're choosing so. And as we breathe out, we're letting the last bits of anything that doesn't belong to us leave. All the things that we have that don't serve us energetically are all leaving. Just being breathed out into the multiverse and transmuted by light and love. And all the things that were missing, that were in the gap of what we identified earlier, are now active and activated energetically in every single cell of our brain, every cell of our heart, every cell of our body, our skin, our organs, our blood, our breath. And as we breathe in and out, we activate and amplify in abundance the things that we're missing. They are no longer missing. We're now in abundance of them, of it, whatever that is. And as we breathe, it fills up our world with that we have decided is now ours. What was missing is now ours because we said so. Removing the things that no longer belong, that didn't work for us and our highest good, that were taking up space and time and energy and emotions, all those things we've let go. If you haven't, take a nice deep breath. See that yourself energetically grabbing a hold of them, and when you breathe out, you deliberately release them from your body with your breath, your life-giving breath. And as you do that as many times as you like until you feel complete in releasing all those things. And as you breathe in, you're filling yourself up with what was in the gap, what was missing. So that now it is in full abundance in your body. And you may even viscerally feel that light tingling in places you've never experienced before. And as you breathe it through and as you make it so, and as you be it, it is in a physical representation in every cell as they all come together, billions and billions of them, to emanate as light into your world and be activated and fully present in your reality. And as you walk through your day, we'll see evidence everywhere you go. We are evidence collectors and creators. And if you're going to create evidence, it gets to be the things that you really, truly want to experience, be, and live into. So as you take another deep breath, we're going to come back into our bodies. You get to touch your fingers and wiggle your toes and take a deep breath and Move your body around a little bit and remind yourself that you're in this physical body, bringing your conscious awareness to it. And I'm going to count backwards from 3 so that you can become fully aware of all the shifts and changes that you've created just in this very short moment. 3, tidying up all the stuff that's leaving, it's all gone, allowing all the newness to sparkle and shine inside every billions of cells. 2, you're highly aware that you are alive with your breath, and it is the life-giving force that causes and creates through words as you breathe and speak and be and live. And 1, you are back into your world, into your body, into your life, and open your eyes if they were closed and see with brighter, clearer eyes. And know that your choice, it's been your choosing to shift what you have shifted in every moment. It was your choice, to go from the feelings of depression or anxiety and sadness in that moment, just for a moment. It was your choice to choose to experience something different. And the more you practice this possibility, the more you practice this moment of shift, you will see it in your reality and experience it as your truth because you said so. There is no other way. You are not a victim to other people's decidings, other people's words. Only if you choose to buy them as true will you live into their words. When you choose what you get to live as here and now, what you get to experience, what is true for you, not as your past, but as your present in this now, you will experience it in this physical reality. Meditation is that space, that technology we just used in order to have the life and experience the life that you want right now, not next year, not next month or in a decade, but now. And the more you practice this, you will amplify and quantum leap your experience. And it will come to you quicker and more visceral in your reality because you said so. We are energetic, right? Quantum, multidimensional beings, whatever that looks like. We have a skin suit. It has cells. They are infinite. Look into science. It is proven true that we are at the effect of our own thoughts. So that is true. Then you get to choose your thoughts and choose the way you experience yourself in these moments so that you can have everything you've ever wanted on purpose. It begins today, whenever you're listening to this, right now. You get to choose to be empowered by your mere existence as you live and breathe. So we're going to walk into our final break. And when we come back, we're going to speak into more of that. Because if this is what's working for you, if you see there's possibility, even if you struggled getting through that slightly, there is more. And I'm here to tell you that you have support because I'm right here as you're listening to my words. So let's walk into a break. And when we come back, we'll talk into how you can get more of this on a very regular basis. I'll see you in a minute.
If you could wave a magic wand and have your life be anything you wanted it to be, what would it look like? Professional dancer, CEO of a multi-million-dollar earth-conscious company, a screenwriter with top billing shows, and ultimately have the boldness to move about the world without emotional blocks standing in your way, therefore having the confidence to achieve anything you put your mind to. That's what Wendy Paquette knows is possible for you. The first step is understanding why you don't believe it too, or why you do, and yet haven't created it. Put on your possibility goggles and join Wendy now, because you're at the Crossroads to Awakening. This is the Crossroads to Awakening show with your host, Wendy Paquette. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. Now back to the program.
Okay, welcome back. So we're in the final stretch of the show, and this show is something that's near and dear to my heart because it is the one thing that caused and created all the possibilities in my reality. It busted through my believing that I was my past, that I was the circumstances that were in my world as I was a child, as I was a teenager, as I was growing into life. And I know now that those were circumstances that occurred, and I don't have to buy them as who I am. I am me today, now. I am the vision that I want to see in the world. I am the light and the possibility because I said so. I'm on a mission to support you to be that as well for yourself and your possibilities. See your light, see your peace, your joy, your activation, and be that so that everyone in your reality can experience the same thing so that they can achieve their goals and have fun in their world. And of course, make money. It's always a part of it, right? This world is run by money. So of course, we're going to lean into that aspect as well. But if you are not joyful in creating what you're really truly up to, how can you possibly get there and live and love it at the same time? So my offer to you is this: find me at wendypaquette.com. Go into the contact information. If there isn't a big beaming sign in there that says free meditation here or meditation classes here, then go into the contact list and find a way to reach out to me so that I can support you we can walk through this together and what it could look like for you. We can walk through the spaces of the unknown and be on purpose in our life right now and create the life we like to live in. 2021 has a new vibe, a new frequency. I'm sure you've experienced it. You just haven't quite identified it or said it out loud. And if you have, awesome. Let's use that because 2021 only lasts for so long, right? We get to create magic now, here, and together because no one's alone, truly. So go to wendypaquette.com and find me, please, or on social media at the Crossroads to Awakening show and send me a message and let's get this party started. I am in absolute gratitude for your listenership, your energy so that I could speak into you every single week. I am honored and excited to keep bringing these possibilities to you as I live these things in my life on a regular basis and create from that space. And I am completely honored to know that that is my mission in this world, to bring all these beautiful things that cause and create joy, peace, love, possibility into this reality and share them with you and be the one that you can rely on and count on to walk you across the line into possibilities. So keep coming back, keep reaching out. And if you'd like to be a part of my community, you absolutely have that opportunity. So reach out and ask for it. You're in charge. Absolutely. So moving forward next week, we'll see if we can speak into a depth, into meditation that goes even beyond what we went today. Because if you think that's the end, that's all there is to it. I have another thing to share with you. It gets even more fun. And I'm going to speak to all my fellow weirdos out there. There are entities that you can connect with and create with and communicate with from spaces you have never even realized before. You may even be doing it and not even know it. So we'll speak in some deeper aspects of meditation and what that could look like from maybe even the brain perspective, right? Alpha, theta is a space where we, goodness gracious, have absolutely no limits. Healings, connections, insights, they come from everywhere. So let's play together. Let's see what's truly possible and how we can absolutely change the world that we live in together. It starts with us, with one person, being the change we want to see in the world. And from there, magic, right? Magic and possibilities and lives being changed, right? Yourself, your family, your friends, your neighbors, your colleagues, people across the globe, all people you're in connection with. So let's keep the party going. This is absolutely a blessing to be here, to be able to speak to all of you through this beautiful channel of Crossroads to Awakening on the Inspired Choices Network. I can't wait to connect with you again next week. Have a magnificent week. See you soon.
Thank you for choosing to listen to the Crossroads to Awakening radio show. Wendy Paquette will return next Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 1 p.m. Central, 12 p.m. Mountain, and 11 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We look forward to you joining us again. Until then, enjoy your journey and we'll meet you at the crossroads.